The success of a hockey team is usually decided on the ice, not on a golf course. But it was a round of golf that would change the fortunes of Hamilton Junior hockey.
We were playing golf one day, my brother Ron and myself. Joe wasn't there, but and a fellow by the name of Nick Durbano, who owned the Hamilton Red Wings. And they were famous for finishing last every year. They didn't have a very good team. They weren't drawing too well, and after the game, after the golf game, we had a couple of drinks and dinner and at Burlington Golf Course clubhouse, and the discussion came up that Nick wanted to sell the club, and after a couple more drinks, we said we'd buy it, and simple as that. And the next day, we went to the lawyers and drew up some papers.
New ownership meant a new way of doing things. Mario and Ron Capito and Joe Finocchio put their name on the team, literally. Bert Templeton was named coach, and expectations were raised.
There was a fear in some of us in terms of if you didn't win with the ownership, and I think that in hindsight was a good thing.
No expense was spared to make the newly named Fincups better.
We had Dale McCourt, and Dale McCourt was a great lover of steaks, and he wanted steak practically every day. He says, back to the old partner again, if he wants steaks and he plays and scores goals, let him have steaks every day, 3 times a day if he wants them.
But it immediately paid dividends. The first season, the Fincups lost in the Ontario Finals against the Toronto Marlboros. But they knew they were on the cusp of something special.
We were a young team, and there were a lot of rookies on the team, and we were licking our chops, waiting until the following year.
That summer's draft would prove to be instrumental in putting the Fincups over the top.
That was like a miracle draft. It was, you don't dream that you could ever get that many high-profile players in the number of rounds that we got. Those 6 or 7 players that played and contributed.
One of which I believe was Rick Sealing, who went on to play with the Buffalo Sabres for years, and Al Secord, who was eventually a 50-goal scorer in the NHL. They were 2 of the main cogs on that team. And then, of course, Dale McCourt, who was probably one of the best junior players ever assembled in Major A ranks. He was our leader, and we had the nucleus.
That assembled team could do it all. They could skate, score, and fight. They led the league, setting up a date at the Memorial Cup in Montreal.
We won most of our games by just outplaying the opposition. But when it came to the final game against New Westminster, they were notorious for being a tough team. They were a much bigger team than we were. And Bert, before the game, I'll never forget, he told his boys, he said, look, he said, I don't want you to go out there, and I don't want you to fight. Because if you do, you're not going to win. You only fight when they have a chance to win. You're not going to win if you fight. So we did that. We went out and played hockey. They come out were hammering us, and a lot of penalties, and every time they got a penalty, we scored a goal.
His plan worked for sure in that Memorial Cup, and our team responded very well. They were probably bigger and maybe stronger, and I think older than our team, but Templeton had that team ready to play from the time we arrived in Montreal, and the final game was maybe one of the best games that the Fincups had played that year.
The Hamilton Sports Hall of Fame welcomes the 1976 Hamilton Fincups.